get right. Let's 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 get right. Get right. Get right. Let's get right. Let's get right. Let's get right.
You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Deala T. And this is No Filters. Always appreciate you hitting that like button for me. Subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode and sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Get you something to eat. Get you something to drink. Get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Cause you see the title, fam. R.I.P. Nolan Wells. Let's get into this here.
Those that are so full of hate that they would send hate messages to the house of these parents. They sent one that Christine shared with Attorney Crump and I, and it accused her and Elmer of just stirring trouble and accused the lawyers, Attorney Crump and I, or they just want money. First of all, I don't get any money in any of what we do. Most of the cases that you have seen us do, we help to pay the funerals and all of that. And they never ask for a dime back, even if they got settlements. But since Mississippi's so special, I'm not only saying we don't want nothing, I want to say right here now, and I'm inspired by who accused us of that I want to put up from National Action Network and me, I want to offer a reward of $50,000 to anybody I want to put a reward up for $50,000 for anybody that could give the information that will lead to an arrest and a conviction in the case of what happened. He was not on that island by himself. Somebody saw something and knows something. So I didn't come to make money, I came to give money. Stand up and tell the truth. Whatever it is, good or bad, we're not going to prejudge it, but we cannot end it until we know all the facts. So all you got to do is reach out to Attorney Crump's office, and National Action Network could do that if it leads to an arrest and conviction. And I guarantee you'll have it before the sun goes down. I want to thank Tyler Perry, who has paid for the funeral. We didn't call him, he called me and said, I want to pay for that. I want to thank Byron Allen and others that have contributed, some that don't even want their name called. I was thinking as a scripture in Genesis, the 4th chapter, that passage that starts at the 2nd verse said, and again she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a worker of the ground. In the course of time, Cain brought unto the Lord an offering of fruit of the ground. And Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering. But for Cain and his offering, he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. The Lord said to Cain, "Why art thou angry? And why has your face fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it." Cain spoke to Abel, his brother. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel, your brother?" And he said, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" And the Lord said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground." May God add a blessing to the reading of his word. The story of what we have faced in America is a question that started in the first book of the Bible with the first sentence. Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? Or will we, out of some emotions, some anger, some jealousy, some envy, maybe some bigotry, decide rather than deal with building up the beauty that God put in us, that we will harm our brother and that we will harm our sister, and through some malice try to hide it? But the Bible says that the victim's blood cried from the ground. I hear this morning Nolan's blood crying from the ground. Am I my brother's keeper? Or am I the keeper of some secret? Some information that you could give and won't stand up. But the blood's going to haunt you. Those in law enforcement, your job is to follow the oath, not to follow the preference of what goes down. There are those that want me to condemn people before we know whether they're right or wrong. Now, yes, there's some questions around this. And this is not a rally, this is a praise and worship service. And we'll deal with those questions. But, it's interesting. I exercised that morning. I tore something in my knee about 2 weeks ago. And they told me when they did the x-ray, Reverend, that I had torn my meniscus. And I had to go to get some surgery. And they said when I went to get surgery, they said, "Well, wait a minute, your doctor has to give us your history so we don't get the wrong thing to deal with your surgery. So the medication you may have and what you have to do to recoup and the exercise you have, we got to base that on your medical history." Well, the reason why what's happened to Nolan, under unquestioned, unanswered questions, gone, phone and keys found 2 days later. You don't tell nobody you had the phone or the keys. When you confront it, you first tell another story. Then when they finally get the phone and the keys, there are things erased from the phone. There's just too many unanswered questions. Somebody saying that he told us he was leaving the island. So I don't know an 18-year-old person, black, white, or undecided, that gives somebody their phone. I'm a lot over 18. I wouldn't trust Crump with my phone. So we just raising the questions. Where is my brother? He went out with y'all, he came back, not with the where is my brother? And because of the background, like they asked me before they give me surgery, they went to my medical history. So the reason why a lot of people in the nation are looking at this Nolan situation is that we look at history in Mississippi. Some of us remember what happened in Mississippi. And because of what happened in Mississippi, doesn't mean it's guilty today, but before we can medicate and heal today, we got to look at your history. Because history will decide, can you handle the medication? I look back into history, and I noticed that Emmett Till happened here. All the way to McIlrath happened here. Based on the history, we got to be able to dig deep. We can't have people in law enforcement say there was no foul play before the investigation. We got to look at the history.
Nolan's life mattered. Nolan's life mattered. Because if something this tragic can happen to their son, it can happen to your children. So we all have to stand up together and say we're fighting for justice for Nolan Wells because he is our son too. And they want us to be quiet. Reverend Holmes, they want us, Crump, won't y'all just go ahead and, we already told you it was no foul play. What do you keep making so much noise? Well, until we get answers, until we get to truth, until we get to justice, we're going to stand up and we're going to keep ringing the justice bells for Nolan Wells. We're going to ring the justice bells for Nolan Wells here in Mississippi. We're going to ring the justice bells for Nolan Wells in the United States of America. We're going to ring the justice bells for Nolan Wells all over the world because Nolan life mattered. Nolan's 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 life mattered. The crowds are going to go away. The government investigation is going to go away. And they're going to feel so alone, as if nobody cared, that nobody felt that Nolan's life mattered. So I want you to stand to your feet and let them know that Nolan's life matters. 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 Nolan's life matters.
Let me say Let me say to Christine and Elmo, before we do the prayer of committal and escort the family out, I just got a text, Christine and Elmo, you know that Tyler Perry said he would pay for the funeral. He must be watching, because he said, I'm gonna match you and put up $50,000 more. So we put it up $100,000 for anybody that'll come forward. We just want the truth, that's all. We just want the truth. And we want to thank Tyler Perry. He must have been watching. I want to thank Colin Kaepernick, who paid for Colin Kaepernick, a real giant in our community, shouldn't be disrespected by anybody. But I'll leave that for when I get back to Harlem. But thank you, Colin, for what he did for this family.
Reporting live from McIlrath, Fight Plus News, I'm Janana. As more information comes out in regards to the mysterious death of Nolan Wells, it gives us more understanding as to what happened that day, as well as what could happen next. On Wednesday, it was revealed that Wells' parents and representatives would meet with Mississippi DA Angel Myers McIlrath to begin looking at the next steps into the case, as the DA would confirm she would now be presenting the investigation to the grand jury. Now, upon researching what we currently know about the case, Nolan's friend and operator of the boat can now be expected to face a series of charges under maritime law. For those...
Hit that like button, double tap that screen. You know you in here with your boy Deala T, my fam. And this is No Filters. Double tap that screen, hit that like button. It's so easy. Just take your fingers, take your wrist, take your body. Double tap that screen. Let me tell you something, man. First of all, RIP to Nolan Wells. You know, today was his homegoing. You know, and it's a celebration, Lord, but it's so difficult within itself because of, you know, the setting of this, you know? And I think everything involved, but you still have to, you know, celebrate life, celebrate living, being in the land of the living, or the accomplishments that, you know, it's a difference, because even in your accomplishments, you still have a soul. Because even in your soul and even in your accomplishments here on earth, you still have a soul. And it matters where your soul goes at the end of the day. So, you know, today was the funeral. And as you can see, Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, all over the situation, as they should be. But in my mind, this was a funeral. So it was kind of different than your usual or average funeral, where, you know, you come, the family come in, you know, everybody sit down, you know, you get a poem, you get some music, you get some songs, you get words from people, you know, at some point you get the pastor, you know, and then even in that, you know, you may get more songs, and or then at this point, it's time for, you know, the viewing. But this is, you know, this is real difficult, man, because, you know, they gotta protest even at the funeral to let folk know, like, hey, listen, man, this ain't that. Like, this is really real. We really need to know what happened, and even though we find it out and still find it out and still find it out, we're gonna keep digging, we're gonna keep listening, and we're gonna get it right. And if we get it, and it's wrong until we get it right. That's what I'm saying. You hear me? If it's wrong, it's gonna until we get it right. Because this situation here, it's gonna come out, man. Let me tell you something, man. We ain't nothing but human beings. Ain't no robots operating this situation. It's human beings. All it takes is time. And that's time for you to crack, time for you to break, time for you to give in. You understand? Because these talking about kids and you talking about parents that ain't even like that. So at the end of the day, we done found out more information. So hit that like button, double tap that screen, put your ears on, put your eyes on, get you something to eat, get you something to drink, get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title, fam. Let's go.
Don't know. In general, maritime law is a special body of law that the government issues to city, and boat operators are expected to abide by these laws or face punishment. Now, one of maritime law's biggest things stressed for boat operators is known as duty of care, which is a legal obligation requiring ship owners, operators, and employers to protect crew members and passengers from harm by maintaining a safe and seaworthy vessel. Now, one thing that looks to be going under the radar is that a passenger is technically considered anyone who left with you on a boat you are operating, and at all times you as the boat operator are deemed responsible for their safety. Now, despite the circumstances that Wells supposedly wanted to stay, it still can be argued that he's still a passenger of the boat that would leave Horn Island at 4:30 p.m. And the fact that Wells was left with no communication, given that his phone was on the boat, makes things worse for the operator. Again, a boat operator's responsibility is to return the specific passengers they brought out. Now, according to research, despite people being there on Horn Island, still does not fully excuse the boat operator from liability, but it can change the severity of the situation. Now, if it is proven that a recreational boat operator would leave Wells knowingly with no phone and a way to communicate for safety and still left, does confirm that that was negligent behavior on the boat operator's end, which for some cases that involve a loss of life, the operator can be charged with involuntary manslaughter and reckless behavior. Now, another thing that would stand out for many is the already drinking that was proven to be taking place that day. Now, it has not been confirmed if the boat operator himself was drinking, but if he did, that would result in another charge known as BUI, or boating under the influence. Which is why for many, the sheriff's initial reaction to the incident, with no arrest being made swiftly, despite the viral picture of 18-year-old Wells and his friends, seemingly of the same age, holding beers in their hands, was not a sense of conducting a thorough investigation and made some feel that a cover-up was taking place. Now, in the state of Mississippi, the legal drinking age is still 21. Now, to tie it all together, if the toxicology report comes back and Wells was deemed intoxicated at the time of his death, it will multiply the boat operator's liability due to the effects of alcohol in judgment. One of Wells' friends, Tracy Shepard, who is assumed to be around the same age as Wells, would publicly confirm that there was drinking in an interview with ABC News. He said that he and his group of friends, which included Wells, have been drinking alcohol since the late morning. Now, going back to Wells being separated from his phone, in which his parents will point out was an immediate red flag. If it is proven that the boat operator ultimately left with Wells' phone on purpose without Wells' consent, it can be viewed as a level of theft. To note, Wells' family had to reportedly track his phone down to get it back. So for some, it does not appear that his phone was willingly returned. As reported here, GPS and audio have now been released from that day. And according to an extended version of the toll call made, there were about 7 people on the boat, according to the boat's operator. Now, it is unclear what specific boat was driven that day, but upon looking up the boat's vessel number, it looks to be a 2000 Triton boat, which comes in different sizes. Now, if it was also discovered that the boat was past capacity, it can lead to another issue for Wells' friend and boat operator. Now, despite all these proven possibilities, the governor of Mississippi may have exposed himself as either not knowing maritime laws or for some is trying to cover up the wrongdoings in this case. On Wednesday night, the governor of Mississippi would finally share his public reaction and would upset viewers by stating that he hasn't seen any signs of foul play with what he's seen so far.
I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case. I've yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But if there is, I feel confident that the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, the members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one, they will find it and they will do what is necessary.
Now, part of his statement, the governor would also confirm that he and Sheriff Ledbetter, who is leading the investigation, are really close. For many, the movement Justice for Nolan appears to be a cry out to a justice system that is supposedly to hold no one above the law, especially when people have been arrested and swiftly apprehended by police for lesser crimes. Nolan Wells will be laid to rest on Monday in Ocean Springs, and his preliminary autopsy findings, according to his family's attorney Benjamin Crump, will be released soon after. Let's talk about them more in the comments below. As more information has come forward, what is your theory now as to what happened to Wells that day? And what is your reaction to hearing the governor of Mississippi expressing he has yet to see any signs of foul play? Reporting live from Raffles Club, Fight Plus News, I'm Janaba.
Breaking news, family. Breaking news, family. One of Nolan Wells' friends may be getting charged with manslaughter. As far as we know with the Nolan Wells case is that it's been 12 days since his passing and they have been dragging their damn feet. But the new updated information is that...
Wait. Hold up. First of all, shout out to Big Kish. Shout out to that hat. Shout out to the Lou. You see what's going on here. Did you hear what that? Did you hear what he just said? Press one if you heard what he just said. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. There's 14 people in here right now. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. You in here with your boy Deala T. This is no filters. We ain't tripping off no haters. Speak how you want, talk how you will. We ain't tripping off you. Press one if you heard what that man just said. I need to know if you with me. Because if you heard what he just said, you heard right. Woo! Listen to me. I just said all it takes is time, man. Because you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with parents, and you're dealing with people that ain't built like that. You get what I'm saying? What? Let's go.
He may be facing charges under a maritime law. There are certain laws, there are certain rules, there are certain things that you have to go by when you're operating a boat. And you must be accountable for everybody that's on your boat. Now, the latest information that we've been getting as far as the GPS location, and we know that boat was around the same area where Nolan Wells was found. Being as though that Ben Crump is on this investigation, this might lead to an arrest, y'all. Check it out.
As more information comes out in regards to the mysterious death of Nolan Wells, it gives us more understanding as to what happened that day, as well as what could happen next. On Wednesday, it was revealed that Wells' parents and representatives would meet with Mississippi DA Angel Myers McIlrath to begin looking at the next steps into the case, as the DA would confirm she would now be presenting the investigation to the grand jury. Now, upon research on what we currently know about the case, Nolan's friend and operator of the boat can now be expected to face a series of charges under maritime law. For those who don't know, in general, maritime law is a special body of law designed to govern issues on sea. Every boat and boat operators are expected to abide by these laws or face punishment. Now, one of maritime law's biggest things stressed for boat operators is known as duty of care, which is a legal obligation requiring ship owners, operators, and employers to protect crew members and passengers from harm by maintaining a safe and seaworthy vessel. Now, one thing that looks to be going under the radar is that a passenger is technically considered anyone who left with you on a boat you are operating, and at all times you as the boat operator are deemed responsible for their safety. Now, despite the circumstances that Wells supposedly wanted to stay, it still can be argued that he's still a passenger of the boat that would leave Horn Island at 4:30 p.m. And the fact that Wells was left with no communication, given that his phone was on the boat, makes things worse for the operator. Again.
So this doesn't sound like it's only a safety measure that's in our communities, because I've been heard it time after time. When we were younger, our parents told us, if we leave with y'all, we come back together. Same thing is with the law as well.
A boat operator's responsibility is to return the specific passengers they brought out. Now, according to research, despite people being there on Horn Island, still does not fully excuse the boat operator from liability, but it can change the severity of the situation. Now, if it is proven that a recreational boat operator would leave Wells knowingly with no phone and a way to communicate for safety and still left, does confirm that that was negligent behavior on the boat operator's end, which for some cases that involve a loss of life, the operator can be charged with involuntary manslaughter and reckless behavior. Now, another thing that would stand out for many is the already drinking that...
Now hold up. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Whoever was operating the boat, who is that? That's the question now. Who was operating the boat? Do you know who was operating the boat? If you know who was operating the boat, put it in the comments right now. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. We cook it.
Was proven to be taking place that day. Now, it has not been confirmed if the boat operator himself was drinking, but if he did, that would result in another charge known as BUI, or boating under the influence. Which is why for many, the sheriff's initial reaction to the incident, with no arrest being made swiftly, despite the viral picture of 18-year-old Wells and his friends, seemingly of the same age, holding beers in their hands, was not a sense of conducting a thorough investigation, and made some feel that a cover-up was taking place. Now, in the state of Mississippi, the legal drinking age is still 21. Now,
and this is why I do not trust John Ledbetter. There was no reason for everybody to come out with that information before you came out with anything. And you didn't even come out with no information. The only thing you came out with is that I suspect that there isn't any foul play, which is no information at all. This is why we got to get rid of those people that's on this investigation and they're tied in with different people and they have racism weaved into their history.
Tie it all together. If the toxicology report comes back and Wells was deemed intoxicated at the time of his death, it will multiply the boat operator's liability due to the effects of alcohol and judgment. One of Wells' friends, Tracy Shepard, who was assumed to be around the same age as Wells, would publicly confirm that there was drinking in an interview with ABC News. He said that he and his group of friends, which included Wells, had been drinking alcohol since the late morning. Now, going back to Wells being separated from his phone, in which his parents will point out was an immediate red flag. If it is proven that the boat operator ultimately left with Wells' phone on purpose without Wells' consent, it can be viewed as a level of theft. To note, Wells' family had to reportedly track his phone down to get it back. So for some, it does not appear that his phone was willingly returned. As reported here, GPS and audio have now been released from that day. And according to an extended version of the toll call made, there were about 7 people on the boat, according to the boat's operator. Now, it is unclear what specific boat was driven that day, but upon looking up the boat's vessel number, it looks to be a 2000 Triton boat, which comes in different sizes. Now, if it was also
He said there were about 7 people on that boat. It would behoove Sheriff Ledbetter to figure out who was the other 3 people, because when anybody's thinking about who's on that boat, they automatically think of that picture, which is just 4 people. But there were 3 other people on the boat. So this is what they need to figure out.
Discovered that the boat was past capacity, it can lead to another issue for Wells' friend and boat operator. Now, despite all these proven possibilities, the governor of Mississippi may have exposed himself as either not knowing maritime laws or for some is trying to cover up the wrongdoings in this case. On Wednesday night, the governor of Mississippi would finally share his public reaction and would upset viewers by stating that he hasn't seen any signs of foul play with what he's seen so far.
I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case. I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But if there is, I feel confident that the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, the members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one, they will find it and they will do what is necessary.
No.
These people are so accustomed with not working. It sounds like he's reading the same script that Ledbetter had read, saying that he doesn't expect any foul play. But you had to identify the young man by his dental records. Make that make sense.
Now, part of his statement, the governor would also confirm that he and Sheriff Ledbetter, who is leading the investigation, are really close.
They homeboys.
For many, the movement Justice for Nolan appears to be a cry out to a justice system that is supposedly to hold no one above the law, especially when people have been arrested and swiftly apprehended by police for lesser crimes. Nolan Wells will be laid to rest on Monday in Ocean Springs, and his preliminary autopsy findings, according to his family's attorney, Ben Crump, will be released soon after. Let's talk about it more in the comments below. As more information has come forward, what is your theory now as to what happened?
I personally believe that this case has reached a point of no return. There is no lie you can tell the public that's going to cover your ass in this one, because they are so used to getting away with this, is that they feel like they're untouchable now. They're going to be found out, y'all. And the ancestors is not going for this shit no more. We are living in a time where as though Mississippi cannot get away with what they have been getting away with for so long. The days are over where as though that we just accept anything. That's over with. Oh yeah, Mississippi, yeah, we know them for doing that. Hey, look, just don't go out. Nah. There's going to come a day where we're going to get our land back. Understand, the indigenous people was out there first. There's going to be a time where we're going to be able to go to any damn state we want to, at any time we want to. This is the beginning right here. All this shit is about to come to an end. All this little this little secret hatred and racism and doing stuff behind closed doors, it's a wrap, y'all, and this is only the beginning. Y'all get in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Man, I hope they really find this person and really hold him accountable for their actions. I don't give a damn if it's a maritime charge or whatever. Just get him into custody, get that damn phone, and go through that damn cloud. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Hype this video. Big Kish, signing out. Go on, y'all.
And I had to play that back so we could hear what that really
There
was.
has been so much coming out about the Nolan Wells case in the past couple of hours, y'all. I'm talking about there's alleged TMZ been hired to cover up the Nolan Wells situation, allegedly. And you even got a crime scene expert that's been speaking out. I got a clip from Don Lemon's show. Also, y'all know the fake friend Wyatt? His brother had came out and said some racial things. Listen, man, we got a lot going on right now. Y'all are not gonna wanna miss this. Make sure y'all make sure you hype this video up because it's getting crazy out here in this internet world, y'all. Check this out. Before we begin to react to these videos, there's a brother who goes by the name of Trent Out Loud. He been on TMZ ass, and I never would have thought of this. But when you get into the details, y'all know they always said the devil is in the details. Y'all read this right quick and tell me, what do you see? You done? Okay. Nolan Wells not first person to drown off Horn Island's coast. Locals say, who the hell said he drowned? And this is why the brother has been going so hard on TMZ. But for them to sit up here and write some shit like this for the world to see, that leads me to believe that they are trying to shift the narrative. Also, there's a lot of people saying that they don't trust the FBI. They do not trust the FBI that is on this case, y'all. They may be trying to go out there and redirect and shift the narrative to make everybody believe that Nolan Wells just passed away from drowning, just to take the attention off of these racist ass fake friends, y'all. This is why we must be our own news. This is what makes it so important for y'all to share these videos, hype these videos, because we're in a time now, we got these platforms and we must use them to our advantage, because we cannot wait on the news to put out little narratives like this. It's all in the wording, y'all. Nolan Wells not first person to drown off Horn Island's coast. And it doesn't stop there. I want y'all to take a listen to this article that I'm about to read from TMZ. And I want y'all to see how they're wording their words to try to debunk what Ben Crump has been thinking. Well, what we all think. Nolan Wells' family may not be convinced he drowned off the coast of Horn Island, but some of the area locals say they wouldn't be surprised, because the waters have claimed in many of the lives. Who gives a damn what they think about him drowning? Y'all see how they want to go interview the people who think he drowned. We don't want to hear that shit. We want to hear from his fake friends. Notice, y'all, it's been 15 days. And we still haven't heard from none of his fake friends. No R.I.P. Nolan. No long live Nolan. I thought y'all grew up together. Right. It's words like this that gives them so much power. Listen to this. Here's the deal. To your average person, when they hear, here's the deal, it's kind of alluding this is fact. This is what's going on right here. Here's the deal. NBC News spoke to several people who regularly visit the area, all anonymously. obviously due to the media scrutiny around the mysterious case, including a boat operator who gave a rundown on the area current. The boat operator said, I know people that have grown up out there that have died out there. It'll humble you very quick. I don't care what kind of shape you're in. Y'all know that's a callback from when Ben Crump and everybody says, look, Nolan Wells is in tip-top shape. He's an athlete. What they're doing is trying to debunk everything that people are thinking. They know what the hell we thinking. This is why they're trying to rush out there and trying to push the narrative that he drowned. I don't care what kind of shape that you're in. Those currents can get you. And before you even realize you're in trouble, you're gone. Of course, Ben Crump, the attorney for Nolan Wells family, has argued that it's unlikely Nolan drowned because he knew how to swim, which the boat operator here is basically saying doesn't guarantee anything. And family, when I tell y'all I am as serious as I ever been, when I say I need y'all to hype this video, like it, and share it, and engage it, I don't even give a damn if it's not my channel. If you see anybody covering this, make sure you support it because we cannot do it without y'all. Now, this is all alleged. This gentleman had came out and said that Katie got a cousin who was on the run. And they saying that he was seen on a boat with Nolan. Now, but again, everything is all alleged before we react to these videos. But like I said, if we're wrong, we're going to fix it later on. Right. But now we need all the information we can get. But check this out, y'all.
Wait, you telling me there's a member in Katie's family who is allegedly on the run right now, and that person could be the person that did something to Nolan Wells? This person was seen on a boat with Nolan and has deactivated Facebook and all that social media all of a sudden. So everybody knows that the story goes that Nolan left his friends to go say he was going to stay with Katie, but then Katie said he went back with his friend. Now stay with me because it get crazy. Now y'all remember this picture that everybody was saying?
This picture just came out.
Here's a better picture. This person right here is allegedly Katie's dad. Same person as you can see here, and this is Katie's profile picture. Now follow me. Now remember this is Lil Daddy Bo. Now there was an altercation that happened. They're saying at 5 p.m. on Lil Daddy's boat. And what they're saying, here it is. One of my passengers, pretty certain he was part of the group. He being Nolan, that was fighting around 5 p.m. This is the first possible lead that we had that says Nolan around 5 p.m. was still there. Now, could Katie's father have been mad that he was with a black girl or that his daughter was with a black man and did something? I don't know, but it's sounding crazy and I don't like it. What if I told you?
Again, y'all, all of this is all alleged. But if you don't want us coming out here fishing for answers to see what's going on and what happened to Nolan Wells, won't y'all come out and say something? Now, before we get to the crime scene expert and listen to what she got to say, I want to chime in on this because these people reveal the evil that's within them. This is one of Wyatt's brothers. You know, Wyatt is one of Nolan's fake friends. His brother had came out and let everybody know how he feels about black people without even saying it. Check this out, y'all.
Wyatt Pyron giving us some insight into what it may have been like to be raised inside of his house, showing us what kind of home training they had.
Yep.
That's Wyatt right there. That's his brother Ike.
I told y'all, them dark shades, give it up.
I got some words for the black community. Y'all want to hear?
Yeah, let's hear it. Come on, Will.
Check it out, fam.
What we got, Will?
Let's get in there a little tighter there. This is what he said on his social media.
Okay, listen up, y'all.
I see you reposted this, so I just wanted to let you know what really happened. Can't be listening to all these black people saying his friends did something. He was with my brother that day on my boat, and he chose to stay. They know who the girl is. It happens at Horn all the time. These guys posting this SHIT on TikTok are all worthless blacks who want nothing but views. No,
all worthless blacks who want nothing but views. He didn't say anything about TMZ. All he could think about is worthless blacks. He didn't say anything about reporters or anything. They're trying to figure out what's going on with Nolan Wells. But this is the same person in the same damn breath gonna sit up there and say, we knew Nolan since we were young. He grew up in my house. It was like we was brothers.
Nolan has basically lived at my house for the last 3 years. We would never do anything to harm him. The person responded with, never said anything about y'all or anything. Just reposted. Wasn't even worried about the racial stuff. It's all BS. You don't think I know y'all been close since little kids? Let's go back to the racial thing.
Just by them trying to prove to the world that they're not racist, they tell on themselves.
They say we always making it about race. Let me tell you something, fam. Nobody makes it about race more than racists. These guys posting this SHIT on TikTok are all worthless blacks. That's extremely interesting because black people are not the only ones posting on social media.
There you go. We not the only ones trying to figure out the truth. There are people all over the place trying to figure out the truth to what happened with Nolan Wells. And I want y'all to pay attention to something. The people that do this, they never speak about the things that have been taking place. They rush straight into the, oh, he must have drowned. They rush straight into that. They never talk about the things about the GPS times and the phones and what the hell was your boat doing right there where he passed away at. But this is the crime scene expert, y'all. She was on the Don Lemon show, and let's see what they got to say, y'all.
From what you have seen and heard, they're being pretty tight-lipped. They're giving some updates, but from what you have seen and heard, what do you think happened? What are your thoughts on what possibly happened?
Well, I think we need to be real careful because we don't know everything yet. But here's what I can tell you. You've got several young people that were with Nolan Wells. They all have cell phones. Where were their phones? Were they also left on the boat when, they hopped off to go onto the island? It makes sense to me if you've got to jump in the water to get to the island. The other thing is those phones are going to track just like the GPS on the boat. If one phone leaves for a period of time and goes to another dock, that's going to come available for us. So we know the time they left and got to the island, it took about an hour and 15 minutes. Dawn, when they returned, it took about the same amount of time. So that kind of checks out. But then they go to other places. We have their original statements when they first talked to the family, when they first talked to law enforcement. Those statements have got to match the travel of that boat. And if it does, then that checks out. If it doesn't, we're going to go another direction.
Sure, having done this for quite some time now, look, we're in a technology age, an information age where there, as you said, there are cameras, there are cell phones everywhere, there are usually cameras everywhere. You mean to tell me that not one person knows or has seen or at least has something to give in this story to help investigators? It sounds crazy to me.
Don, that's the part that blows my mind. When you look at the videos and the photographs that have been released, look, we all went somewhere for the photo.
Because they're all on one accord.
I was just finna say that.
With each other. The history of racism runs so deep out there in Mississippi. Those are the nieces and the nephews of the people from back in the day. What the hell do you think they getting taught growing up? This is why it's so quiet. This is why we still haven't got the phones of Nolan Wells' fake friends. Like that's the main point that I wanted. We need they damn phones.
For July, there are people packed everywhere. And if somebody's just standing taking video, I cannot fathom that somebody did not capture him on film, on a photograph. I just find that hard to believe. And if he's with a group that knows him, somehow gets separated, but he's with another group that supposedly knows him, how does he wind up all by himself? Those are the questions that have got to be answered for his mom. Don, listen, you and I have worked lots of cases together, and you know as well as I do, when you have a child die, you have got to be able to sit with that mama with facts, not speculation, not I believe, not I think, not possibly. You've got to show her facts so that she can somehow absorb what you're telling her.
They'd rather send her letters in the mail insinuating that they're doing a money grab, that there's a part of some damn scheme or something like that. That's what they'd rather do out there in Mississippi. But it seems though the funeral is going to be held tomorrow, Monday, July 20th. Y'all share y'all thoughts and opinions in the comment section. And like I said before, y'all please hype these videos up. Let's get this out there in the algorithm so people can start putting two together, putting their thinking caps on, and not only that, hopefully try to get these videos out there to people that was out there on Horn Island, and they would, probably come out and say something. We need people to start stepping forward. All them damn phones out there, and all we got is some grainy ass videos and grainy ass pictures that we got to use ChatGPT to clear up. I don't think so. Even though that there wasn't any signal out there on Horn Island, there's these satellites and all of that. You still can record on your phone. I believe it's gonna come out. I just feel like it don't take this long to come out. But y'all get in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Make sure you hype this video. Make sure you like and share and subscribe. Big Kish signing out. Go on, y'all.
What's up, family? Anna Seymour is the young lady who says she saw Nolan Wells last when he was involved in an altercation on Horn Island between some other guys. Not sure if these were his so-called friends who killed him, who allegedly killed him. I guess I said that. Anyway, but she said she saw an altercation and it was really heated. It's like they was getting ready to fight or something. And next thing you know, Nolan shows up a couple days later dead. Now, I don't have a picture of the woman, but her comments are making its rounds on social media. What I do want to mention here, though, is that this judge right here, this judge, the judge is to the right. The woman to her left is a woman who she allegedly is responsible for not protecting. See, that woman was trying to get a protective order against her husband, boyfriend, or whoever this guy was to her. And she wouldn't grant it to her. So, the woman turns up dead. The guy ends up killing her. And this turns out to be another bad decision on this judge's behalf. If you talk to people in the Mississippi area where she lives and works, they consistently say she is a horrible judge. Now, why is this judge's name popping up all over Nolan Wells' case? Well, she is the stepmother of Warren Hudson, the guy on your left there, right? Warren was supposed to be one of Nolan's friends, right? He's one of the guys who was allegedly out there on the boat with Nolan when Nolan allegedly walked off to the sunset with some girl, conveniently. Now remember, the girl said she did speak with Nolan briefly, but then Nolan took off and went towards the boat where his friends were to rejoin his friends. Next thing you know, Nolan is dead. Everybody goes back home but Nolan. Not only does everybody go back home, but they go to sleep just a few hours after they hear word that their friend is missing. I don't know about you, fam, but I could be knocked out. I could have some drink running through my veins. I could be totally spent. But if I hear about somebody I was hanging out with, especially somebody who's supposed to be a friend, was missing. And we're talking about out in that water. It's a potential chance that he's out there in that water. I wouldn't be able to go to sleep. Now, I tell you, fam, I'm pretty sure I'm harder than all of his friends combined. I'm pretty sure that I've went through more than all of them combined. I'm pretty sure I'm more battle tested than all of them combined. And I wouldn't be able to get any sleep if something like that happened to my friends. Now here these guys are. Check them out. These are the prime suspects. Let the public tell you. The police ain't gonna tell it. The police ain't got no suspects. I don't think the police want any suspects. But that's why he was one of them. As Warren just saw him. Eli Jax. Remember Jax? Remember when Nolan's father was talking about retrieving his keys, and Jax was the one who came to the door, all disheveled, and he was like, I don't know where the keys are.
Oh, that's him.
Then 5 minutes later, he produced the keys.
Oh, that's him. Okay, that's him. Okay.
What was he doing with the keys to his car? Anyway, fam, this case is beyond suspicious. All of these guys, including Eric,
Should be locked up.
are beyond suspicious. So is Morgan. Now, I'm not sure if Morgan Seymour is related to Anna Seymour. I don't know if that's his sister or what. I think I heard somebody say that was his sister. I'm not sure if that is his sister. But I tell you what I am sure of. I am sure that this is the Seymour family. This is the Seymour clan. Now, I don't know how old this picture is.
You said clan.
But these are the Seymours. And so they've been around for years. This picture looked like it could have been way back in the 40s or 50s. Why is that significant? It's significant because these people are closely related to power in Mississippi, authority in Mississippi. You got one of the friends whose father is a former fire captain. You got another one whose stepmother is a judge.
Wow.
And we're not really sure about the relationships that others have. But oftentimes in these towns, people are, especially these small towns, people are interconnected.
Now let me say this. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Listen to me. If they saying that these have happened in Horn Island before, see, this is what they, and this is another reason why they telling on themselves even more. Because when they say that this has happened before on Horn Island, then that means other cases haven't come to the light or was buried that these same people were involved in. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Cases of Horn Island missing or deceased have had the same police, governor, DA involved. So if that be the case, and now we looking at this family, look at this family here. They talking about this whole family here, okay? This whole family. All of them are connected with authority. They are all connected with law and order. All of them. And they all in Mississippi. Things like that, fam, is tight-knitted in a family that's got something going on a certain way. And they either profiting from it, allegedly, or the fact that something of them and them knowing what's going on or the way it's been going on for a long period of time. Okay? And in situations like this, and it's 20,027, and you got people like content creators, you got free speech, you got YouTube, everybody podcast up. No, it don't happen like that no more. Because now you dealing with everybody is the news. Everybody is news channel 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 34. Pick your channel. Everybody is a news channel. So people don't get to just come out with something, because at this point we all can dissect and say, hey, this is real, this ain't. We looked into that, that ain't that. Let's keep going. But then you got people that branches off, right? Follow me. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. You about to learn something. You got content creators. We all are seeing what we're seeing, right? Think about this for a second. We all are seeing what we're seeing, right? Whether one of us come up on it first, or one of us come up on it second, or one of us comes up on it last, okay? We all come up on it, right? And then in those moments when we come up on it, we can decipher, is this real or not? Because now you got stupid people, then you got people in their right mind, right? Follow me. So when you got them type of people, you have content creators that branch off and say, hold up, we ain't been getting too much of the truth. Or somebody look like they running us around in a circle. So then you will get content creators that'll branch off and go look into the family. That's where y'all trip. Because you're dealing with today. And today, we ain't taking any type of news. We literally looking into it ourselves and can present it to you. And when we getting ran around in a circle, you got people that branch off from the circle and go looking deeper and look in detail of the family, everybody involved, their track record, and who they belong to, how long they've been in this city, what's been going on. Was they involved with this case, that case, this case, that case? What happened in this case? How did this come up? Who solved this? Did this really get solved? Was this person black? Was this person black? Was this person black? Was this person black? See, now, this is how you break down an empire. This is how you break down a horror story. This is how you really, dismantle evil. You understand what I'm saying? This is how you really dismantle evil. Think about a movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You pull down that road to that house in that town, you know you ain't coming out of there, right? So the whole family, the sheriff, everybody know what's up. So when you got the law working with evil, they can cover that evil up real fast. Because this is how I'm looking at this Texas. This is how I see this, man. Because there's no way in this town, there's no way that the judge, that's the stepmother, the officer, he is family, the governor, he knows what's up with his situation allegedly because they all family or connected. DA, who is that? See, this is alleged, but you're going to get content creators that's about to break down their whole family, their whole connection, their whole friends, that whatever this is, or whoever this is. Because now they put this white girl in there talking about that her daddy is on the run. That'll give you another story, that when they said that Nolan went with the girl to go have fun or something in the woods, that'll make you go with that story now. Because now they're going to act like, okay, well, she lied and said that Nolan went back with his friends. But technically, if your daddy got on Nolan's head, then that mean he never made it back to his friends. And then when he came, and when their parents went over to to them white boys' house to get that phone, and that white boy act like he didn't know what a phone was, but all of a sudden, old girl, remember it was a girl that they talked to that said, hey, yeah, he do know what a phone is. The phone right there on the game, or the keys on the game. That'll make you think like, did she do that to get it off of her? Did she do that to not be a suspect? Did she do that because she know what her daddy did? Or because they was fooling around, daddy called him, got on him, put him down, did this, that, and the other, then all of a sudden his daddy take off? But see, that'll be funny because if that's the case, how does the boat make it to the judge, which is the stepmother? How does the boat make it over there in the wee hours of the morning getting cleaned up? See, now we got to think, because now that makes you say, hey, that means all of them are connected. You understand what I'm saying now? See, that means all of them are connected now. You understand what I'm saying? Because now, those stories that went together, it's like, okay, well, that means y'all do know the white girl. Y'all do know the daddy. Because if that's the case, how the boat make it back over here to be getting cleaned up? So now we have a lot. So this is why I said that, because this scandal will be dismantled. Let me write that down for the retarded people in the back. This scandal will be dismantled. And that's just real, because at the end of the day, these people, they telling on themselves by not telling what happened. They even telling on themselves and the history of whatever they've been doing in Mississippi. Because now that y'all want to act like Nolan Wells don't matter, or y'all want to act like y'all don't know nothing, okay, now we finna look into all these other cases, and now we finna see who involved in those cases. And it's kind of pretty fair that if all the same names involved, oh man, and I'm talking about in the authority, I'm talking about in the authority of the law, those names involved, it make you start wondering like, what? Because now you got to look at those things and say, hey, what's this? What's that? How we get here? Like, how y'all do this? How y'all do that? Y'all did this before, and now y'all on this? And again, we looking at history. But this is how you decipher the situation, by looking into the family and the connections and how long they've been moving together. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. We got 50 folk in here, 60 people. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Let's go.
And they look out for each other when they're not harming each other.
Right.
If it's somebody outside of the race or it's an outsider, they're going to all stick together. This is why living in these type of towns are dangerous. Living in these little one-light towns,
I said,
and I'm not saying it's that small, but it's a figure of speech.
And see, this is why I rock with Really. Because I literally just said that. Living in a small town like Texas Chainsaw Massacre put you in these type of situations. And that man saying the same thing. That's why I rock with Willie, man. Because it's like, let's just keep it real, man. This is real black and white. We can see some been wrong, some scandal involved, and people ain't come, and ain't none of his friends still saying, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened, we looking for him. They know what happened, because that's how you know that they know what happened. They never came out and said, we looking for him still. All they said was, you think we didn't want this to happen to him, we didn't want nothing, we didn't want him to die. That's before we even found out what happened. We still over here trying to figure out what happened. How are you all already like, yo, well, we know because of the funeral, but it's like, hold on, y'all ain't even saying, hey, we looking for him, or have you found him, or what? You get what I'm saying? It ain't no type of concern from those people. And that lets you further know more of what's really going on, because there's no concern, there's no care, there's no call, but he was with y'all the whole time. Nah, that ain't it. Nah.
Where you have the fire chief, the police chief, the deputies, the judge.
Look at this.
The person in the permits department, the person in the survey department. school superintendent, principal, all of them know each other. They all family or friends. They all went to school together. They all grew up together. So when something happens, especially something like this, where some white boys was hanging out with a black boy, and the black boy ended up dead, they are absolutely not going to be in the mood to be trying to use resources and time to identify the killers.
It's like that movie
If
Get Out.
they do spend any time trying to identify the killers, it will only
See, and when I start hit that like button, double tap that screen, fam. Double tap that screen, fam. Become a member today. Put your notifications on all. Listen to me. When I started thinking about the movie Get Out, I started thinking about that because I was like, hey, hold up. All these white people together, they all know each other. But I was like, man, hold up. They couldn't identify the man by his teeth. Okay, so now I'm like, hold on. You can't identify him by his teeth? You got to identify him by his teeth? So I'm like, what y'all do to him for real? Did y'all do some type of ritual? Burning? Ashes? Some crazy? You see what I'm saying? Because now I'm like, all y'all working together, don't nobody know what happened, but it happened. And then ain't nobody really saying nothing. And then now we getting all these kids talking. We get an assistant coach to calm black people down. To act like, you know, ain't nothing going on in Mississippi. Everybody friends, everybody cool. Ain't nothing to worry about, man. That's the movie Get Out, fam. Because now you got all these weirdos together living. And y'all believing in something and doing something with black folk bodies or coming. Because in Get Out, they was auctioning that black man. Like he was a trophy. And whatever they was going to do with him, they was going to do with him. But it's the fact that every white family wanted him. Huh. Hit that like button, double tap that screen.
only be for self-knowledge, so that they can know who the killers are amongst them, because they really don't like competition when it comes to killing. So if they got a killer amongst them, they need to know who that killer is, just in case they need to hold it over their head for something down the line. They need to make them do something or whatever, because, you know, come down the line, might take 10 years, because, you know, murder don't have an expiration date, right? There ain't no statute of limitations for murder. So it could be 10 years, 20 years down the line. And they might want a favor. Oh, you want to do it? Okay, well, you know, I would just think that you might want to do it for me since, you know, I took care of that little thing, you know, a while back for you. What are you talking about? What you talking about? You know, the NIGGO, you know what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, him. Yeah, no, yeah, you know. We talked about that, you know, I know you did. Next thing you know, favor for a favor. No way possible you can get me to live in Mississippi. Hell no. Hell no. I feel dirty for even going to Mississippi a few times I went. It is just a backwards state. It's a horrible place. Horrible people. Just horrible people. And let them tell it they're decent. They killers. These people are killers. They are incorrigible. They're incorrigible, man. They are incorrigible. Can't be helped. Cannot be helped. They are who they are. Demons, devils.
Wow.
Can't help it. They don't want to be helped. It's like that gene that gets passed down for generations and generations and generations and generations. It's almost like a rite of passage. The way that people in law enforcement and in the courts, prominent people, you know, in Mississippi who are doctors and lawyers and educators, you know, businessmen and women, it's a rite of passage for them to do blackface.
I ain't a bill.
Almost all of them, especially if they go to
Bill.
school, they join a sorority or fraternity.
And let me tell you something. Like he just said, that scenario, hit that like button, double tap that screen, Listen to me. That scenario he just played out was talking about how they all stick together. How one of them could be saying something to the other one about, hey, you already know, fam. Back in the day, you know what I took care for you. And now you gotta understand, they've been covering up something probably for years. Decades. Since they was younger. And then when you think about that, fam, think about that for a second, man. You looking at them movies where something happened that didn't supposed to happen, or something happened and whatever that is, or whoever, unalive, whoever, it starts to become that for years. And now you have a tight-knitted group of people that runs the law, runs a state. And you're looking at so many different bodies, so many different families, so many different women and men that's possibly been slaughtered in any type of way. Whether you were unalived and somebody never said that, never said nothing about you, you came up missing, nobody never spoke up for you. You get what I'm saying? These are the situations that have occurred for decades. And when you get a situation like this, Nolan Wells having to be identified by his dental records, and nobody has nothing to say, that lets you know that these people been doing this a while because they don't say nothing. And the fact that today or these days now, it had to make national news. It had to make YouTube. It had to get into content creators' hands to put attention on it. That's what's going on today. So that's what I mean by this scandal will be dismantled. And that's just what it is, fam. It don't even matter. This scandal will be dismantled. Hit that like button, double tap that screen, man. This is crazy, but it's real.
They do blackface. That's their thing. You know? They are really stuck in time. I couldn't be around people like that. We're talking about prime, uncivilized mutts. And I absolutely believe that Nolan Wells
Cause I'm gonna tell you something, man.
I absolutely believe.
I believe that Nolan Wells was a
TMZ caught getting paid off once again. TMZ's headline reads, Nolan Wells not the first person to drown on Hone Island. How do you know he drowned? Even the corrupt system in Mississippi, they haven't even said he drowned. Yes, they're lying and saying that there was no foul play, but they haven't even said that. Why are you saying that, Harvey? Why are you writing this headline in TMZ? How much was the bag? And while we're on the topic of corruption in Mississippi, the governor of Mississippi, Tate Reeves, came out and doubled down and let us know there is no hope for justice in Mississippi when it comes to Nolan Wells. Governor Tate, the most powerful man in Mississippi, has come out and said he sees no foul play when it comes to Nolan Wells. And if corruption at TMZ and corruption in Mississippi is not bad enough, Christine, Nolan Wells' mama, is now getting hate mail. Now, in the light of all of this negativity and corruption, I do have a silver lining. Judge Carlos Moore of Mississippi has come out and said he has seen enough evidence and that he is now demanding for those 3 white boys and everybody else that's involved in this Nolan Wells case,
be arrested and investigated immediately. There has been a ton of developments over the past 48 hours when it comes to the Nolan Xavier Wells case. Sit back, relax. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know, and then I'll hand it off to you, the out louders. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. For those of you who've been following this channel for a while, you know that I have a hate-hate relationship when it comes to TMZ. I was the first content creator to call TMZ out when it comes to their corruption with Joe McCann and Ashley Janae. And it saddens me that they're back at it again. Trust me, this brings me no joy. I hope that I was wrong. I hoped that I was wrong about TMZ. I hoped that that was just a one-off, being paid off by Joe McCann. This is even worse. Listen to this disgusting headline and even worse article. Nolan Wells' passing wouldn't be the first in Horn Island waters. Locals say current will humble you. Nolan Wells' family may not be convinced he drowned off the coast of Horn Island. That is a horrible way to start off when they haven't even had his funeral. This is just disgusting. First sentence, okay? May not be convinced. That is alluding to the fact that they should be convinced, but trust me, it gets worse. But some of the area's locals say they wouldn't be surprised because the waters have claimed other lives. Again, that is insinuating, that's manipulating, indirectly saying, we believe that the waters claimed Nolan Wells' life because it has claimed others. This is manipulation. Here's the deal. NBC News spoke to several people who regularly visit the area, all anonymously due to the media scrutiny around the mysterious case. All of them now are anonymous. Nobody wants to put out their name, right? Because we know that this is a hit piece. We know that this is here to kind of quiet the rhetoric and calm everything down so that they can create alibis and get those 3 white boys off without being charged or anybody else being charged. That's why nobody's name is in there. When somebody says something, this is 2026. Everybody wants to be on camera. Everybody wants to be famous, okay? So stop it, this like anonymous BS. Who are the names of the people? State the facts and receipts, sir. No. Including a boat operator who gave a rundown of the area's current. The boat operator said, I know people that have grown up there that have passed out there. It will humble you very quick. Right away, again, manipulation. What? Nolan's never been out there. People that have grown up there and go there every day have claimed their life. Give me a break. Like, I'm telling you, every single line and every single word is manipulating. This is coming from a publicist. The same thing I told you that Joe McCann was doing. This is what TMZ allows. Every single period, comma, word is thought out by a publicist to change the narrative. And this is what TMZ exists for.
But it ain't gonna work.
I don't care what kind of shape you're in. What do we always say? Nolan, athlete, 18, strong, football player, just going to camp. So right away, I don't care what shape you're in. Why do we need to hear this? There is an ongoing investigation. We all know that we don't trust the investigation, but there's an ongoing investigation. Why are you putting this up?
First of all, listen. Don't nobody even care what they say. Don't nobody care. It don't matter. It don't matter what TMZ say. It don't matter. See, this when you know TMZ lying. Because they don't have nobody to ask. TMZ walk around every day talking to somebody. They even show you they talking to somebody every day. But then when they change the narrative, they come out and just say, this was this from this and this was said. And then they address everything, all the complaints, all the concerns. But it don't matter. TMZ does not decide if that man was unalived or if he drowned. If you drown, then that means your body can be identified and not by your dental records. But if your body was put on fire, decapitated, something of saying missing of missed, and you got to be identified by your come on now, let's make it make sense. That's why people not using their own brain of sense making. You're letting whatever narrative or whatever's being said run your brain. Use your brain, fam. Use your brain. They had to identify him by his dental records. That's not somebody that drowned. That's not somebody that's talking about, hey, you know, it was another life was claimed by the island. Shut up, man. That sounds stupid. The man was identified by his teeth. How he gonna drown? He got to be identified by his teeth. If he drowned, we can see his body. Now we identify him by looking at him. Cause what? He drowned. But something deep happened because he had to be identified by his dental record. And then what else is crazy even the more? If y'all went out and dropped the body off way out in yonder, you just say, y'all, okay, so you went here, went there, went here, went there, went here, went there, and you dropped the body all the way out there. And then the body all of a sudden floating back this way. And people is saying, hey, now we see police officers down there looking at a body. How many days later? See, something ain't even adding up. A lot of this ain't adding up. We hear a story, we hear the narrative, and then we react to it, and then you got people going back and forth to see if it makes sense. That's what's going on. People are not trying to find the truth. I mean, people hear something, react to it, and then say, yeah, that don't really make sense though, fam. But so you get what I'm saying? So that further lets you know, like fam just said, they knew it was him. They needed time to make up a story. And these are the things where you got to point to stuff like that. Because here you're talking about this narrative that has to be created that he drowned on the island. But we all know there was some activity that was done by some people for him to even be drowned. He ain't just jump in the water and just kick himself down. For him to drown, it had to be some other folks there. Or the fact that he fell in the water when ain't nobody around. What? Mama K in the building. You get what I'm saying though? It's no way he just, what? He just drowned because he just all of a sudden fell, don't nobody know nothing. How don't nobody know nothing, but they got his phone? And don't even want to give up his phone. And then his Snapchats are deleted, stuff is deleted. Man, they all going down. This sound dumb as that thing, man. They all finna go down for that. Cause they all stuff is deleted. You got possession of his phone. And then y'all ain't coming out saying nothing like y'all sorry, y'all connected, but the only thing y'all coming out with is the defense. That's all they can. That's what I'm saying, man. Y'all know what done happened to that man. Y'all know what happened to, even if y'all had to give that man to somebody for them to unalive him, or if y'all was just there when something went left. So these are the things that matter, man. Like you gotta wonder. It makes you wonder. Because at the end of the day, hit that like button, double tap that screen, man. It's crazy, man.
So irresponsible and so disgusting to do to the parents. It drives me nuts. I don't care what kind of shape you're in. Those currents can get you. And before you even realize it, you're in trouble and you're gone. Manipulation. This is a tactic that these people do. Now listen to the most disgusting line here. Of course, you'll see here on my screen, I've underlined it. Of course, Benjamin Crump, the attorney for the Wells family, has argued that it's unlikely Knowles drowned because he knew how to swim, which the boat operator here is basically saying doesn't guarantee anything. Why would you need to start the paragraph like, of course, Benjamin Crump, of course nobody believes this, but yeah, the boat operator, yeah, he has a crystal ball, he knows everything, right? And by the way, it's just not the fact that he was fell into the water. What is suspicious? It's the phone being on the boat. It's the keys. It's Katie saying, yeah, he was going back to the boat. It's 3 white boys saying, no, he was with Katie. It's just not the water. So why are you putting this up?
Yeah, fam. That's why I'm like, that's how you know somebody really at work. You better hear me. Somebody at work. Somebody trying to change the narrative. Somebody trying to get stuff out of our minds to make us think. Just anything to where they can just come up with this and say that man drowned. Somebody overworking right now trying to change narratives, man. I mean, this is deep. Because for TMZ to get a call and they're like, hey, what's up, Harvey? Yeah, listen to me, man. Yeah, man, listen to me, man. Yeah, I need you to go on and wrap this on up for us, man. Yeah, man, it's just been carried on. Yeah, man. So yeah, man, go on, throw it out there, man. The man ain't around no more. Just you know how it go, man. Man fell in the water, drowned, yeah, all that, yeah. Yeah, put a little extra on it too, man, so they, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, man, looking forward to it. So now we talking about stuff like that. That's the calls being made. That's the call that was made. That's diabolical work, man. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. We cooking.
We don't know that any water can claim anybody. A swimming pool can. Somebody can pass away in the shallow end of a kiddie pool. Like, this is crazy to me. I cannot stand manipulation. It's disgusting. And on a level like this, as TMZ, they should be ashamed of themselves. NBC News also talked to people who explained the culture around Rhode Island weekend, including how vacationers often meet up with other groups and catch rides back with other friends. Is this necessary? Like, this only happens on Rhode Island. No other island in the world do people go out and come back on other people's boats. This is not even a good publicist. This is just blatant manipulation, and it's disgusting. This would help explain Nolan's choice to stay behind on Horn Island at 3 p.m. on July the 4th instead of heading back with his original group of pals, as they claim. See, as they claim. How about not as they oh my gosh, this is
and then they talking about this would explain. You hear that? Let me say that again. For him to say this would explain this, about why this would explain that, this would explain, this would. And Harvey should be ashamed of himself, man. But he trying to keep his job. Yeah, you know the TMZ host, Harvey? Yeah, he trying to keep his job. He got a boss. And he trying to keep his job. Somebody called him like, hey, yo, listen. Wrap it up for me, man, because you know you're a lawyer. You can just, all it takes is whatever you say. All right, man. You feel me, man? Yeah. So God see what he doing, because he bold-faced lying or bold-faced putting it out there that's not even, I'm trying, oh my goodness. All right, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Hold on.
They also had his phone, which some told NBC News is normal because it's a safe, dry place to keep it while you wade around the water. Yes, totally understand. If you're going in the water, okay, cool, I understand. Yeah, they'll leave it on the boat because it's dry. But excuse me, if you decide that you met up with Katie and you want to hang out there or hang out with anybody, you'd be like, hey, before y'all leave, give me back my phone. No 18-year-old be like, yeah, just leave with my phone, go chill. And then, oh, by the way, if you guys don't hear from me, you can't find me, when you go back home, you go back to, I think, Wyatt's house, yeah, call my mom and be like, yeah, we haven't heard from Nolan, but don't tell her that you have my phone chilling in your back pocket in the house or in the car or wherever it was. And then when Nolan's mom is looking for the phone, she has to go and ping it and use Snapchat. And then when Nolan's mom's friend goes to pick up the phone, it takes you 15 minutes to give him the phone. This is the suspicious stuff, not the drowning. TMZ. As you know, Nolan was found and passed away July the 6th, and the authorities have said they believe he drowned, though they're continuing the investigation. The only reason why they're continuing the investigation is because of us, y'all people, in the comment section, putting pressure, watching videos like this and other content creators, Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat, because of the pressure. If it wasn't for the pressure, there'd be no investigation. Exactly like Ashley Janae. They came out, cell phone alive and case closed. Oh, hell no. International pressure? Okay, cool. And I hope it's still not over yet. We do know that it's not in the news right now, but I digress. I'm gonna not even get into that, but it's not over. Stay tuned, all right? We're not done with that. We're not done with you, Joe, and we're not done with you, TMZ, either. But back on to Nolan. We're continuing the investigation, you believe you drowned. No, that's because of us. That's because of y'all out there. Crump and the Wells family have pushed for their investigation, exactly what I said, voicing that they do not trust Mississippi authorities due to the history of the Deep South. See how they did that right there? They didn't say, the Nolan families and Crump are pushing because everything seems sketchy. Katie seems sketchy. The boys seem sketchy. The car, the keys, the GPS. Not because anything else seems sketchy. They're doing it because they don't trust authorities in the history of the Deep South. This is a big part of the reason too, but it's not only part of the reason. Okay, and also to your chief medical examiner, Stacey Turner. We all know about her. And for those of you who don't know, I'll pin last video in the comment section. You can read about her. Yes, we don't trust Mississippi and their history, but you're acting as if like we're all just cray-cray and we're just like, it's only because it's Mississippi. Yes, you do have a history, but there is a lot of questionable things. A ton. And this is one of the rare cases where I would say 98% of the people are united in the fact that things sound sketchy. With Ashley Janae, some people believed Joe. Some people didn't believe the narrative. I would say it was like 70-30. Carmelo Anthony, I think it's split down the middle. Some believe, he should have gone to jail, but it should be a lesser charge. Something it should be that he got the appropriate charge. Some people believe that he got away, that he should be going away for life. Some people think that he should have got off. It's split. It's divided. When it comes to Nolan Wells, if you just look at my comment section alone, man, out of 1,000 comments, I would say there's maybe 5 that are like, yeah, we think he drowned. That's like a 98% rate. But then here's TMZ putting out an article being like, yeah, he drowned because of the current, because of water. Like, give me a break. Like, it's disgusting and it's deplorable. The 5 people who put that in the comment section and TMZ. This is just ridiculous. Now, to continue on with the ridiculousness, let's now see what the governor of Mississippi has to say. And again, this alludes to this last sentence of why Benjamin Crump doesn't trust the authorities out there because of the history, because the most powerful man has now come out and doubled down and said what authorities have been saying from the beginning, even though we've had 2 weeks of evidence pointing to the contrary. The governor of Mississippi, Tate Reeves, says that he sees no evidence of foul play. This is the most powerful man in the land. This is the governor. Okay? And this is not after July the 6th, like the sheriffs have come out and said, we played videos before. This is like yesterday or 2 weeks ago, after 12 days. Just the GPS question location, everything like that. How would you say, I see no evidence of foul play? What are y'all talking about? Listen to the governor.
I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case. I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play.
Now, I told you earlier that there was a silver lining in this video. And this silver lining comes to you today from Judge Carlos Moore. Judge Carlos is a judge in Mississippi, and I'm gonna play a video for you. I played a video of his before, but I love that he's coming out almost daily and making statements like this. This is somebody who knows the judicial system like the back of his hand. He's a judge, and he understands how Mississippi operates. He knows the people. He knows the DA. He knows the chief medical examiner. He knows everything. And like what I have said prior is, there is enough for arrests. Is there enough for a conviction that these guys need to go away for life? We don't know that yet. There is enough for arrest. Somebody, I think a couple of days ago, in my comment section were like, oh, that's what the grand jury is going to do. Yo, you don't need a grand jury to arrest somebody. You don't. There is enough evidence, there's enough suspicion to at least arrest somebody to bring them in for questioning. Those 3 boys should have been arrested. I made a video about that. There is enough to have a search warrant. There is enough. And if you didn't want to believe me a few days ago, here is the exact same thing that I said coming from Judge Carlos Moore.
I do know you don't have to be indicted for anything to be arrested. All of this evidence is out there now. It should have been presented to a judge by now. Some of it for probable cause to make some arrests.
Thank you.
Some of it to get the search warrants.
Thank you.
I am not about any dilatory tactics. You're not going to punt the ball and put it on the grand jury. Certain folks need to be arrested now. If there's so much evidence, evidently there's enough evidence for the FBI to now be involved. Evidently there's enough evidence now for the DA to announce that she's going to present things to the grand jury. There's nothing to present to a grand jury that doesn't have accidental drowning. And accidental drowning under no suspicious circumstances would not require a presentation to a grand jury, and the DA can make that call herself. So if ever...
Now, shout out to this brother, Judge Carlos Moore. He was a judge on the seat in China and chain in Mississippi, okay? He has reportedly spoken about how bad their system is in one-sided races. So he didn't got fired or whatever the case may be, I believe. And now he's in the lawyer practices, okay? So it takes people like this that work for these people that say, hey, okay, these people are wrong. They are racist. They are one-sided. They are biased. They are sticking together, okay? So now we know that because this man has worked with these people. He's worked in that system. He knows. But the biggest thing that really calls into question is, Mama K in the building, Tanya in the building, Candy Girl Pink in the building. You already know what it is, fam. Shout out to everybody in the building that know what it is. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. We got 52 people in here. Should be 52 likes. Flat out. 52 people, 52 likes. 55 people, 55 likes. Listen to me, man. The realest thing, Mama K, is that, no, TMZ, I was saying that TMZ had to receive a call. I didn't say that TMZ received the call allegedly. I'm saying that they had to receive a call for them to just report that this man, Nolan Wells, has been another victim to the drowning of the island. That's the report they put out. And they normally put that out when they want to change the narrative. When somebody from up high has called and said, hey, listen, we got to change this, or we got to keep it moving, or we've been doing this Nolan Wells thing so long, or the funeral coming up, so let's wrap it up. You know, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, somebody from the head has called TMZ and said, hey, let's wrap it up. So now they want to come out and just say, hey, he's another victim. They want to say, well, this person said that the island has already taken lives of many. And then this person said that it doesn't matter if you're an athlete. And then this person said, you see what I'm saying? They sit there and they don't do nothing but just sit there and debate every heading or every piece of evidence that's been spoken of that's concrete. They sit there and challenge it with some type of narrative. They challenge it with saying, hey, I talked to such and such said, or I talked to somebody that lived by the island, or I talk to people that go to the island every day. But you ain't got no names. You don't know nobody from Do Dirt Diddley. That's how you know TMZ lying. And you know they lying because they saying again, let's put our thinking caps on. Let's put them on. Listen, the mother and father had to identify Nolan Wells' body by his dental records. So that means his body was either burned, decapitated, severely beaten. I mean, it had to be something that you can't identify his body by looking at his body. And even if his body was in a state of the ocean or water, okay, cool. Somebody could have unalived him and then threw him in the water. And then, depending on how long he was in the water could have probably ate his body up, salt, whatever the case may be. But to me, it's going to take longer than 2 days. And now you don't, and first of all, you know the day that he left. That's the day his mama and daddy said that he fixed them some food. And they said that he left. That was the day. And then you talking about the day he was with his friends at the boat and the last time he was seen. And then you talking about the day that his body came up at the island. That's not enough time for a body to be having to be identified by his dental records. It's not enough time, man. To me, something had to happen to his body first, and then he was thrown in that water. You get what I'm saying? That's what I believe. What say you? Type it down right now in the comments. What do you think happened for this man to be identified by his mouth and teeth? We got to make it make sense, man. Let's go.
Definitely, there is something not clean in the milk, and they know it. But yet and still, because of privilege or whatever, there's been no arrest, and we are day 11 post July 4th, when Nolan Wells was first reported missing.
Judge Carlos Moore, keep applying pressure and keep doing your thing. Now, I am going to show you something that I think is probably the most disgusting thing that has happened to the Nolan's family, to the Nolan Wells family since all of this started. And it's probably not going to be surprising to somebody. Christine, Nolan's mother, is now getting hate mail. You'll see beside me here a picture of the Al Sharpton press conference. And you'll see Christine crying, and you see Al Sharpton and Attorney Ben Crump with their hands on her shoulders. But I'll draw your attention to a little higher up beside her face, above her shoulders. You'll see dollar signs, and you'll see arrows coming from Al Sharpton and Attorney Ben Crump, alluding to the fact that this is about money for them. And it's disgusting. It's
disrespectful,
hurtful, and it just shows the state in which this country is in.
Disrespect.
Christina wrote this in her caption: "Whoever sent this to my home, may the Lord have mercy on your soul. Bold enough to send this crap, but not bold enough to list your return address. This is America, where a grieving mother and father have to deal with this type of behavior because we asked a simple question of what happened to our son and accepted all the help we could get to find answers. Please go touch some grass." I like that last sentence. Just really disgusting. There's nothing more to be said here. Y'all know whenever I make a video and I talk about Christine or Nolan's dad, we have to be supportive of them at all times and by all means, and we have to let them grieve and we have to let them.
But see, these are the typical Brad in the building, you know what it is. It's been a minute, fam. Appreciate you putting up. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Make sure your notification bell is on. It's good to see you, fam. Listen to me. This is how you know this them soft white people, okay? The soft white people. See, the soft white people, they do stuff like that. You know, you tough. You're not tough. You send the mail, but you ain't saying who is it. Or you out here calling people by the N-word, but you not doing it. You only doing it around police. I mean, you only doing it around public places where you want to call the police real fast. You know, it's like you want to be racist, but you can't stand on business because you're not built like that. It's like you want to be tough, but you're not, and it's difficult. Because it's like, okay, listen, if you're racist, just say you is, so we can know what to do. But, you know, don't send nothing to my house and don't let me know it's you. Because even the older racist people, you know, they stay where they stay and they say what they say. But it's these new racist people, or it's these type of folk that feel like that, you know, they not built like that. Because they want to talk like that or act like that or put it out there like that, but yet the level of racism, knowing you know it ain't right, but yet you want to do it, but you know you're not built like that to get it done. So just stay in a child's place, man, and stop doing that. You get what I'm saying? Just let it go, fam, because at the end of the day, sending letters, but you're not saying, listen, man, if you got a problem, stand on business. If you got it on your mind, get it off your chest. You say that again, if you got it on your mind, get it off your chest. Because at the end of the day, don't do that. That's soft. You can't be grown. You can't be grown and racist, but then you want to talk bad and run in the house. Yeah, Brad, it hurt everybody's heart, man, that this man has passed away in the manner that he did. And the fact that we really don't know how he did, but we know he had to be identified by his dental records. We know foul play was done. We know disrespect. We know, like, yeah, we know. And then when you got the kids coming out not saying nothing, and then when you got nobody being charged and kids being locked up, as if they have nobody to answer to. That's what's amazing to me. Okay, that's what's kind of killing me. Like, they have nobody to answer to for this. Like, ain't nobody been locked up, like the Judge Carlos said. They don't have to be, a presentation does not have to be presented for them to be held. And ain't none of them been locked up. The dude holding his phone, the dude arguing with him, the other dude that said he called his sheriff, the Coast Guard, and his mama that's the judge's son, stepson. Oh man, these folk need to be locked up. Because if they was, they would tell all of it. If they was locked up, they'll tell on each other. And that's another reason why you know that this is a tight-knitted white family community. This is the governor, the DA, the police sheriff, the judge. They all tight and closely knitted because nobody has said nothing about doing anything. And they gotta be related, man. I'm telling you, they gotta be related in some type of way. They gotta be related because right now, think about it. A judge should be presented with some evidence to go lock one of these kids up. They should be presented with probable cause. The sheriff, the police, nobody has come to nobody about probable cause just to lock these kids up. Just probable cause. That's the lightest, that is the lightest attempt when going after a situation, having probable cause that something bad has happened and that you are involved, you need to come with us. But no, we ain't getting none of that. It ain't none of that. I mean, and that's light work. Anybody can get locked up off probable cause. But the fact that you had his phone, mom and daddy had to go look for it. If ain't name one of them finna get locked up right now, whoever had his phone needs to be held right now. He needs to be held right now, fam. If y'all don't want to take all of them, okay, well take him, because he had his phone and he was acting like he was playing dumb, like he didn't know what a phone was and it was in his room. So let's not play stupid. Also, the white girl. Let's take the white girl, because white girl said she was with him, but now it's this. Now your daddy involved. Somebody should be bringing white girl in. Huh? Somebody should be bringing them two in. At least just them two. If ain't nobody else, at least them two. But again, that's how it goes back to them being family. Goes back to them being tightly knitted. Goes back to them being together for decades. Them running Mississippi for decades. You know how many bodies, how many blacks have passed away unalive without a story to tell because of these same people that's dealing with Nolan Wells? You couldn't fathom. And that tells you even the more that these people ain't scared, because they not even locking they, man, this woman, this judge, she definitely ain't scared. Because she like, nah, my son ain't finna get locked up. Ain't nobody locked him up. And whoever is the son that had the phone, he don't feel threatened. He don't feel like I gotta do this because they finna come get, he ain't feeling nothing. They just sent 1,000 narratives of a story that didn't happen. And that's it. It's one story, one way. That's the way it happened. That's it. It's one story, one way. And they just sent so many different ways. But I'm going to tell you something to me. I felt like his friend, Javon, I really feel like Javon is holding back some information. And I can just sense it by looking at him as he talks. When he's talking, he's talking like it's scripted in his mind, but yet something is on his face. See, this is how you know folk when they really real. Because even though you talking, you got something written all over your face. Yeah. So he over here talking and he ain't got to say a word. This man got it written over his face like he's saying certain stuff, but he keeping out of what he know he really want to say. And I'm going to just tell you something right now, man. These is kids, man. Say that again for the people in the back. These is kids, man. When Javon and his mom had an interview, and it was all of them. I want to go back to that interview so bad because it was Javon and his mom, and then it was the lady, Miss Christina, and her son, and her husband, Noah's parents. And they was being interviewed, and they all was like on a Zoom or something. But as you can look at all of them, it's like when Javon was talking, his first sentences was something, but it looked like his mom either touched him or his mom was like, hold up. And it was just something real small and subtle. Something real little and just a little, And it was like, wow, they didn't sit up here. And I'm looking at them, they got on all black. I'm looking at him, and the way he's like talking, she stopped him from keep going, like he was finna just spill the beans. That's crazy. As if he was finna spill the beans. And I'm trying to tell you, fam, that's exactly how it looked, man. That's exactly how it looked, man.
Take whatever steps they feel. If she wants to post this and send this out, I think that it could or
Willie D. Nye.
What's up, family? Are we adding TMZ to the list of mass media that has an agenda against black folks? I want you to check out this article in TMZ, and you tell me what you think. I'm just gonna read it. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna read it, and you just tell me, are you picking up what they're putting down? Nolan Wells' death wouldn't be the first in Horn Island waters, locals say. Current will humble you. Nolan Wells' family may not be convinced he drowned off the coast of Horn Island, but some of the area locals say they wouldn't be surprised because the waters have claimed other lives.
Javon better start talking, man. Javon better start talking, man.
A call around that time to a private towing company obtained from the same records request. The caller explains a mechanical issue with the boat.
We're thinking they always talk.
The towing company dispatched reaching out to a local captain for help.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island, and he said the boat is sinking. He wants you guys to go out there, unpump the boat, and then tow it in.
Records then show the boat being towed slowly from about 4:31 until 5:25 before getting back to normal speed. The boat then returned to its original location at 5:44 without Nolan Wells.
And that's the report. Hit the like and the thumbs up because it does affect the algorithm. More people become aware of our conversation. And it's really important for the health of this channel. Also, let us know where you're streaming from. Cheryl McCollum joins us now. As I said, Cheryl is a crime analyst, active CSI for Metro.
But let me say what he just said too. Listen, hit that like, hit that double tap that screen, hit that like button, double tap that screen. It also helps the channel. It helps the channel. It's healthy for the channel to grow, for people to know what's going on. Because at the end of the day, as we grow and let people know what's going on, we here to inform, understand, and be aware that if it walk like a talk like a, that's what it is. But let me tell you something about this that's crazy. We're gonna get into this deeply tomorrow because this really breaks down and the information now of where they went and how all of a sudden they got to call a tow and come back and Nolan Wells ain't on the boat. So now that right there even more just added fuel to the fire about why it needs to be more probable cause for them to be held right now, locked up and questioned thoroughly to the fullest extent of the law. You understand what I'm saying? Candy Girl Pink says, I won't be surprised if Javon is next. And I won't either, but I will be surprised that Javon is going to be held for obstruction. That's what's going to happen to him. Because if you caught in your lie and you lying, yeah, you definitely was obstructing the law. You was upholding, you was keeping from, or you was just delaying. But it's just the fact that you did that. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's so many people that need to be charged at times. Because when we find out what really happened, and we say, hey, we all are in agreement, without a shadow of a doubt, this is what happened, this is the way it happened, and these are the people involved. In that moment and in that moment only. That's when we're going to separate ourselves for real. Because at the end of the day, more and more each day, things are coming out and they're telling the truth. So, Kim Girl Pink said Katie's dad is not off the hook. They need to lock him up. So here you looking at Javon, you looking at Katie's dad, you looking at these 4 white boys, you looking at parents covering up information they was told. You looking at law enforcement possibly, you know, I don't know. I think it's so difficult now because I think we have to continue to stay all around this. We gotta continue to stay around this. Because as the funeral just happened, and then TMZ came out with that false narrative or whatever he said, you looking at time, you looking at certain things that need to be done a certain way. And that's just real. And it's gotta be done like that. I can't believe this. It's different, man. It's different, man. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. You in here with your boy Deala T. This is No Filters. Make sure you become a member today. You see the donations for the Cash App. You see the donation for the Zelle. You see the super chat. It's all good and all nothing but love as it has been and as it will be. Always, man. It's crazy. As always, fam. You know what the level is, what it ain't, and what it should be. More evening at 9 p.m. right here with your boy Deala T. Each and every one of you all, I truly thank each and every one of you all for pulling up, taking time out to get you something to drink, something to eat, and something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you know all you got to do is hit the like button, double type that screen. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode, and share this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Never forget, you in here with your boy Deala T, my fam. And this is No Filters. Good night, family. Y'all be safe. Stay locked up, stay loaded. Keep the hammer on you, keep your door closed. God bless.